we're going to have Senator Millar speak next. He's got an event or appointment meeting he has to go to next, so he's going to talk and give us his perspective of what's going on in the state legislature. So take it away, Senator Millar.
I attended some of the Drew Hill meetings, and I'll tell you that, in fact, I put it on Facebook, these people really made a truly effort. When you read the paper, you don't know this, to reach out to the entire community. This is primarily, in many respects, a minority community, a lot of these schools. And I would say for people in this room, what you can do, you can contact the school board members and let them know you support this. It's very important, and I think the message is going to be given to them. If Tom's trying to do something with an independent school system, I'll tell you right now, if this cluster thing does not happen, okay, it's going to give impetus to the independent school system. Because what happens at that point, there's no other option for parents. You can't build that many private schools. So I believe that, in fact, I met with Marshall Orson, who's one of the school board members, the other week. I pretty well laid that out to him. I said, look, and I'm talking about seriously doing this, not the kind of charters that we have up here in Dunwoody, which are paper charters without a lot of authority, but with the spirit of the law, for lack of a better thing, that people really are in control, to manage and hire and fire and so on and so forth. So I think it's a really good thing. These people were really dedicated. I will tell you what, they spent thousands of hours. She wasn't kidding when she said this. And they were very well organized, but they made a real effort on the outreach, particularly from a minority standpoint. They had everybody, it was a diverse group. Yes, I understood the 1,000 votes that they felt, you know, of course the political scientist, I put this on Facebook, he tried to make it a racial thing. But when you get 90% plus, I don't care what it is. If it was 70% plus, it would be big. So don't use excuses for this, okay? This was a mandate by people. And I do hope the new board and the superintendent can listen to that thing. Another thing I want to comment on is the safety thing the other day with the school. Quite frankly, you can't prevent everything. And I think from the standpoint of what happened after that gentleman got in the school system, particularly the lady in the office, but even the way the school handled it and what they did with the children, they hooked the children up with the parents, and the whole thing, the whole process, they should be commended. I think they did a darn good job. Nancy said the key words, you know, whenever you talk in a group, you know, you talk about education, but you also talk about taxes. And I've been meeting with some groups, a very smart attorney. There is some out there that I know. And we're actually looking at a property tax reform package. Because I'll tell you right now, if those of you that got your homes appraised this year in the Dunwoody area, and particularly in the new cities like what's going to happen in Brookhaven, if you look at the value of what happened to your land, and you look at the value of your appraisals, I would say to you, our appraisals up here, if you got reappraised, went up as much as 15–20%. Okay? They can have a house for that price right now. And so we need a series of reforms. They're not doing the things they're supposed to be doing with the law. And for example, I'll give you one quick one. When you go, they're supposed to give you the comps for the house when they did your home, when they appraised your home, right? Well, when you go to the appeal hearing, they don't have to use the same comps. They can bring in different comps. Now, there's no way in the world the legislature intended that you'd walk into a hearing and be surprised like that. That's not supposed to happen, this type of thing. So it's a process, and I think anytime you deal with tax reform, people like that. Because again, you want to be fair to people. Overall, the only final point I'd say is on the Common Core. There's an article in the paper today. It's a letter that's about 10 days old. Let's just call that a political sop for anything else. The state of Georgia is not going to back off on the Common Core, okay? If you read that article very closely, what the governor said, and then what the reporter said, and all these other people said, read what the governor said. And I'll tell you right now, if you look at the standards that we used to have, I think the English standards, we were 90% of what the Common Core was, and math was about 80%. Everybody smart that I know in education, okay, whether it's, you know, the Georgia Chambers of people, whether it's Southern Regional Education Board, whether it's the DOE people like Mark Reifrath or Brad Bryant, people I've known in education, they say this is an improvement in standards. And you know, we have to be honest with ourselves. National standards of the game. For my grandkids or Jenny's kids over here that I know, okay, they're going to be compared not just on Friday Night Football with Lakeside and Dunwoody, but how they're going to do against the kids in Tennessee and North Dakota and the rest of the world. And we're kidding ourselves. They're going to tie the ACT, the SAT, AP classes to the Common Core. And if you're not with the program, you're going to be left behind. And I think all of us believe in higher standards. So, Nancy, I appreciate you inviting me. I have to now go down and solve your transportation problem downtown, so you can get here earlier. And anybody's got that miracle in their bag, so we'll let Tom and I know, we'll try to make that happen. Thank you all very much.